Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so today I just wanted to be more of an informative video because I couldn't find anything like this for me on YouTube, but I just wanted to compare and contrast the differences between the rear axle positions on your trailer. So the one that I'm currently using on my dry van is a rear set. So I just want to, I'm here at the PACCAR testing center. I just wanted to try doing the test because I've never actually done the test. So I'm going to try pulling forward, backing into this spot with the rear axle setup. Then I'm going to go to the diagnostic, probably repair my vehicle because I haven't repaired it in a while, but change the setup to a front setup, come back, try it again, and then maybe if I have time I'll do a spread axle just to see the differences between all three, and we're just going to compare and contrast. So for the first one, let's try. Alright guys, so to test this one, test one, we're doing the rear set to try to keep things a little bit similar between each test. I'm just going to drive as straight as possible, touch the yellow, and then come back. I know it's not how it's performed IRL, but I want to try to have some consistency between each one. Okay, so let's do an outside view just so you guys can see it backing up, which I am not used to driving with this camera like this. I'm used to driving inside the cabin, so we'll see how this goes. I don't think it's going to be that great, but hopefully. Don't think I'm doing terrible at this, but so far I think we're good. Just straighten it up. Yep, and now we're just backing up. And easy peasy. I started veering off a little bit. Did I even hit the cones? I did not. Okay, cool. That's what happens when you shift. Let's see. I can probably fix it just a little bit. Maybe not hit the cone. Am I hitting the cones? Not yet, I'm not. Hold up, let me actually just get it on the side. Just so I can keep it on that side, just so I can see. And why am I trying to back all the way up? I don't know, I don't have to. But we are, okay. So, now that we got all the way back forward, this is test one rear track. This time we're gonna go forward. We're gonna try to see how early can we start turning to try to clear that last cone. So if you see that striped cone right there, we're gonna try to go forward and see how far forward we have to go before we need to start turning to sort of avoid hitting that cone. So for this one, I'm gonna need the outside cam. I'm gonna need it on my right side. Actually, what we'll do is we'll start with inside just because I do not trust my driving using an outside cam. So we'll drive, and we'll just pull forward to this white line right here. Okay. Switch to the outside cam. Okay, so I'm trying to see about how far do we need to go past that line in order to avoid hitting that stripe. Okay, so let's see. Try to keep her as straight as possible, because I think I could sort of maybe start inching it a little bit. Maybe, yep, I think I can. Oh. I wish it would stop turning my camera unnecessarily. That'd be great. And I think it's clipping, I think. So let's see. Is it? think I might hit the cone. No, we're good, but we have to wait pretty much till our back thing passes before we can actually clear it. Okay, so that's not bad. I think the whole point of that, I'm just trying to see about how soon can I start turning. And I sort of started turning a bit early, but I mean, I feel like I was sort of limited with the range trying to turn right because I knew that if I did, that back thing is going to start following. I wouldn't say very quickly, but it seemed like I was limited with what I could do. So now I'm going to go and switch the configuration and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so we are back this time with the front setup and same test as last time. Let me go ahead and get in here. I will say on the drive over here compared to the 4-axle, it is much more responsive, but the test, and always going to be the hardest part for me, is trying to back it up using that outside camera. Of course I could just back it up using the inside camera since that is what I'm used to, but we're not going to do that. So let's see. Outside camera, which I seriously do not like this thing. But okay. Yeah, I can't use this outside camera to save my life. I'm just gonna. Can't really tell how close I am. I'm not close at all, actually. That was, I feel like, way easier. Did I hit anything? No, I did not. It's fascinating. I feel like that was way easier than the 4-axle. I don't know. I felt like each movement was a bit more responsive. Now I just gotta watch and make sure I don't hit anything. But each, like every time I make a subtle steering input, it's just, I don't know, I feel like more responsive. So that's nice. Overall, that wasn't bad. I could back up a little bit more, I guess. But that was not bad. Compared to the 4-axle, in my opinion. A little bit easier to drive. Okay, so now for the same test as the other one. So front axle, this time we want to see about how long past this white line can I go before I need to just start cranking it. So let's see, are we near it? And I can pull up just a little bit more. Okay, using the outside camera again. Okay, so we're gonna just see how far I can go. And I'm assuming since this one's responsive, I would probably have to wait a little bit. Let's see, go ahead and start turning. Oh, actually, oh wait, hold up. That's crazy. I feel like I'm turning sharper. I don't know. From my personal experience, like, look at that. I don't know. I feel like it's a sharper turn radius because the wheelbases are closer to each other. Interesting. Because ever since I got this drive van, I've been running that 4-axle, but I don't know, that front, I felt like the turn radius was way sharper. But then on top of that, there's nothing really on top of that to say. I feel like if I had to back out, like if I needed to get out of a parking space where I'm like right up next to like these two cars, like say I was this middle truck right here and I had to get out, I feel like I could turn sooner than I could with my 4-axle because it's not as responsive, especially not on the backing up portion. But like the turn radius, hold up, let's see. Like, look at that. Like the trailer keeps up pretty well. I will also say, because of my cab configuration, that does make turn radii and things like that a bit harder and more difficult to do. because the wheelbase on the truck itself is already, you know, extended. So that combined with, you know, the trailer, I understand. But overall, I'm liking the front configuration. That's probably gonna take the lead. So let's head back, change the weirdness and everything. So the ones you guys are gonna see is gonna be this rear axle for the 53 foot, front axle or the front setup for the 53 foot, and then the 4-axle non-steerable, because I hate steerable axles. It doesn't matter. I hate steerable axles. But the 53 foot 4-axle non-steerable. They do have a 53 foot 3-axle, because one of them is going to be liftable. One of the axles are going to be liftable, but I prefer to use the 4. Why? Because I think more is better. I don't know. But the rear, and one cool thing I'll show you guys with the rear and the front right after this. Let me go ahead and do this testing. So 53 foot sliding tandem rear axle setup. Okay, let's go ahead and get this going. So we're just going to go forward, similar to the last one. We're going to go forward, touch the yellow line. But so far, I feel like the rear, as far as agility, yeah, I don't know. I feel like accelerating in a straight line, it feels like the front setup, just because probably less wheels. But as far as responsiveness, or it responds just as well as any of them, but I guess what I'm trying to say is the impact again. The impact is where I get a bit confused. Because for example, turning, like, you see, like my wheels are, like, it's just not as impactful on the turn. Like, you can see the trailer starts to move, but I feel like it takes longer for the trailer to actually start moving in the direction I want it to. I'm just gonna hold it there for a second. Oh, too much. And it should just be straight back from here. I don't know. I don't like the rear setup that much. Similar to the 53 foot, it's just not as impactful. I'm backing up. Actually, I would go as far as to say it's even less impactful than the, not 53 foot, I keep saying 53 foot, than the 4-axle. It should just be back up from here. Oh yeah, cool. Just look top down. Let's see how far I have to go. Should be good, should be good, should be good, should be good. Alright. The good part is I feel like I don't have to touch the wheel as much when I'm keeping straight, but just like what I was saying earlier, every input I put into the steering wheel is going to affect the trailer no matter which setup I use. But the impact and how much it actually affects the trailer, I feel like the further back or the longer that separation between, like, the back of my truck tires, Jesus English, the separation between the back of my truck tires and the first trailer tires, I feel like the longer that is, the less impactful my inputs are. And so the reason I'm thinking so far this one is less impactful than my 4-axle is because the 4-axle, it's hard to explain, but essentially there's imagine 2 more tires in front of these 2 back tires. Well, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4 from back to the front, the 2 middle tires, the second and third set of tires, or second and third axles, are the ones that are actually on the ground, whereas the first and fourth are liftable. And so I think, again, because the tires are closer to the front, that is probably the reason why my impact is a little bit more. But again, pretend like you have all 4 axles and counting from back to front, first, second, third, and fourth. On the front setup, it would be the third and fourth tires, making it even closer, which is probably the reason why it's even more impactful. But again, let's go ahead and try to finish the test. We'll go for this one to see if we are trying to get out of a space, how easily could we do it. And of course I could have gotten closer to the side there a little bit. We'll try to do that now. Yeesh. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold for a second because these back, oh my gosh, gee, I can't start turning. Okay, here we go. Jeez, and I'm still about to hit the same. Wow, this is actually so far the furthest I've had to go past this cone. Okay, so it makes sense. Okay, we'll keep going. Turn. And let's look at that turn radius. It's even less impactful. Okay. Okay, so that's interesting. So I'm definitely gonna have to put like a little thing up on the screen to explain this, because this is weird. But before we stop, one also pretty neat thing with this, with the sliding tandem rear and front setups, no matter which one you want to use, if you go and let's see, you go and do view services, you can adjust your trailer setup on the fly, and that's dope. And so now I went from, let me turn that off, I went from my rear setup to my front, and this is exactly what I was talking about. You saw in the rear how it was the back 2, and now look how forward that wheelbase is. And if you see it, let me turn this on. I feel like the turning radius for this is so much sharper. Let me give you an example. Try to get way up here. Okay, and then turning. Like, this is such a sharper turn than any of the others, and I think it's simply because that gap in between my truck tires and the trailer tires are so much shorter. But that is one neat thing between the sliding tandem setups, whether it be the front or the rear. But again, before I go off, one issue with this, let me turn this off. You can go from rear to front no matter where you are, right? So if you wanted to, you can change your setup from rear to front wherever. The problem is not every state allows the rear setup. And so, for example, the state that I'm in, if I wanted to go from front to rear and I press this and then press confirm, wait, it does it with that? What was it talking about earlier? Okay, that's just dope. So I can just change this whenever. But I think maybe it's California that I was in. But in certain states, they don't allow this rear setup. And so if you are there, actually here, I'm just going to go to California real quick just to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. But let's see, I'm pretty sure it's California, right? See, your trailer is not legal in this country. What? It is legal in this country, just not that state. Okay, so here's what we're going to do to make it interesting. So I'm currently in the rear setup. It will not allow me to go to California in that setup. However, if I go to adjust my trailer, which in real life, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive they can adjust these on the fly. Also, and again, this is what I'm talking about. Your wheelbase just slides forward. Because this front tire here is so much more forward, I think that is what's allowing me to turn on a dime a little bit easier. Especially compared to my, what do you call it? My 4-axle. So that is one benefit of this. If you wanted to, I guess, be more immersive, I don't think the game penalizes you that much for rear axle stuff. Actually, it probably would. So if I'm in front axle and I'm going to California, so for right now, I'm gonna go to Portland. Don't really care about the cost. Oh wait, not Oregon. I'm supposed to be going to California. I'm sorry. Redding. Okay, so we're gonna go to Redding, California. Don't care about the cost. When we're there, every state in America, or at least the ones that we have so far, allow the front setup. Okay. However, if I were to, whoops, go here and then do adjust trailer, if I try to go to the rear, it probably won't let me. We'll see if it does. It does. We're in California, and so it still allows me to change to the rear setup if I want, but what I'm willing to bet it won't allow me to do, it probably won't allow me to quick travel to anywhere in this setup, and that's realistic to real life. So this is not legal in this, it says country, but it means state. So you can't use the rear axle in this state, and I'm willing to bet if you were to pick up a actually, here I can do that. I'll do it just for a quick test. So we're currently using rear axle, which is illegal. No jobs currently available for your trailer. Make sure you have all necessary skills. So this is okay. So this is what it's doing. So because I am rear axle set up, it is not allowing me to find any jobs. But I'm willing to bet if, oh, whoops, went past it. If I were to go and adjust my trailer to the front setup, and now I go and look for jobs, I'm willing to bet I will find some. Let's see. Of course. Okay. So now I want to try something pretty illegal. Is there a way? Let's see. Thank you guys for joining me on this one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Again, let me know if there's anything you guys want me to do, see, or test. As you can tell, I have enough money to test it, so just let me know. Bye.